Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, and back to the next Sudoku Take Out pack, which is called Something Irregular, a bunch of puzzles set using the same irregular grid. Now, this is a puzzle pack by Maggie and I, and Maggie really wanted to make an outside puzzle using this one. In fact, there's two in this pack, one of which we think is probably the easiest variant, this puzzle, and one of which is probably the hardest variant puzzle, which is the one that'll come last in the pack. So yeah, we really like these ones and hope you'll enjoy them too. Of course, this is based on the outside constraint is just one that we love. So you're going to get a couple of those. Maggie really wanted to make these puzzles, so we did. There'll of course be a lot of the standard constraints that you're used to coming as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy those, but let's have a look at Bigger Inside by Maggie and BremSter. There'll be a link below to where you can try this puzzle yourself, as well as to the playlist on the channel where all of these puzzles are being added, as well, which is, I think we're adding this to the Sudoku. No, should be a Sudoku Take Out playlist, I think. And of course, yeah, all sorts of stuff. So link below to where you can support the channel if you want to see more of these. No required. This will always come out for free. Let's have a look at the rules. So we've got normal irregular Sudoku rules apply. So into every row, into every column, and into every one of these odd-shaped regions, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. So no repeats in that region, no repeats in that region, no repeats in this region, no repeats in this plus-shaped region in the middle. All of the puzzles in this pack use the same grid. We've kind of fallen in love with this grid. We may end up doing more. Then there's the outside constraint, which is digits outside the grid must appear in one of the first 3 cells of the row or column as seen from that direction. So in these cells, there must be at least 1 2 and at least 1 5. There must be at least 1 8 in there. There must be at least 1 2. Well, there must be a 2 and a 3. There can't be more because you can't repeat in the column. So 1, 2, and 3 must appear in here. The 2 and the 5 in the column must be in those 3 cells. The 8 in the column must be here. The 1 and the 7 in the row must be from here. I was thinking quadruples for some reason. One of those comes later, I think. I'm not sure. We may not have been able to make the quadruples puzzle work. I'm not sure. There may end up being 13 puzzles in this pack. We may make another one. Who knows? So this is Bigger Inside. They're the rules. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So we can immediately say these digits are 1, 2, 3. And by the geometry of the puzzle, we know that these two cells, and I've covered this one in all of the standards, are these 2 cells. So these are 1, 2, 3, giving us the 1, 2, 3 triple in the in this region. But we know 7, 8 must go in here, but this can't be a 7, 8 because it must be a 1, 2, 3. So this is a 7, 8 pair. The 2 and the 3, however, in this row must be over here. So this is the 1, and we know this can't be the 1 and this can't be the 1 because that would repeat in the region. Similarly, down here, we know these are 7, 8, 9. Those 2 digits are those 2 digits. So these are 7, 8, 9. But the 7, 8 here is looking across, making that the 9, meaning neither of those are 9. But there must now be 2 and 3 in here because 2 and 3 must appear in those cells. Over here, we've got 4, 5, 6, but those 2 cells are the same as those 2 cells. So these are 4, 5, 6, making these 3, 7. As you can see, we're just using the geometry of the grid, making these 3, 7. And we've got 4, 5, 6 down here as well. So these are 4, 5, 6, but those 2 cells must go here. So these are 4, 5, 6. Sorry about that. And these now must be 2, 9. Now, 4, I'm not sure where to start. Oh, yeah, 2 must be in one of those 3 cells. So that's the 9 and that's the 2. Was there more I could do with that? Yes, 5 must be in one of those 3 cells. So neither of those are 5. So neither of those are 5, and that must be the 5. So we know that 4 is in one of those 3 cells, but the 4, 5, 6 is preventing it from being there. So it's in one of those 2. If the 4 was here, that would have to be the 4 because it would prevent it from being in any of those. 7 is in one of those 3. So that can't be the 9 or the 7. That's the 8. So there's no 8 down here. This is 7, 9, but the 8 looks up making that the 7, and these are 7, 9. So we get all of those locked in. 7 has to be in one of those, but the 7, 9 is saying not here, and that 7 is saying not here. That's a 7, which looks across making that the 3 and that the 7. The 3 is looking across in this region, making that the 2 and that the 3. Yeah, I vaguely remember this one now. Need more. So the 5, this 5 is saying 5 can't be here. So 5 is in one of those two. So 5 isn't here. Right, 2 and 3. So 2 can't be here because of the 1, 2, 3. So 2 is in one of those two, but this 2 is up here. So this isn't the 2. This is the 2, making this the 3. So the 1, 3 here means this is 1, 3, and this is the 2. Okay, which means 2 is in one of those two. 2 isn't in any of those. That digit has to go in one. Right, this is a trick, and this is an important one. That digit there, where does it go in the plus region? Well, it's not repeating in the column, and because of the 7, 8 pair, it can't be in any of those. That's the 7, that's the 8. And these two digits have to go in here as well. So these are just 4, 5, 6. And that is now a 4, 5, 6 triple in the column. And these are the 1, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 8 that haven't been placed in this central region. 7 is in one of those two, but that 7 says not there. That's the 7. Okay. Okay. 8 is in one of those two because of the outside clue. So 8 in this region is not in any of those. 4 is in one of those two. It is possible that we've difficulty rated this puzzle incorrectly. That does happen. And if that happens, I'll move it to later in the pack and the introduction will be wrong. Three is not in any of those. Those two digits are those two digits. Can I force anything? We know 5 is in one of those two, but what was the trick? I think it's an irregular trick at this point. 7 is not in any of those or any of those. Right, where's 7 in this row? Can't be here, there's 1 in the region. Can't be here, there's 1 in the region. Can't be those because there's 1 in the region. Can't be here, there's 1 in the column, and it can't be here, there's 1 in the column. That's a 7. Can I do more with 7s? What about this column? 7 can't be in any of those or there. Or there. 7's, no. 7 is in one of those two in this region because it can't be in any of those and it can't be there. So it's in one of those two. In this column, it's not in any of those. It's not there, but it could be in any of those. So I'm not sure. There is... eight in this row? I don't think so. Like that can't be 4, 5, or 6 because it sees all three of those cells. Those two in the row, that one in the column. Huh. Oh, 5. That's a 1, 3. That's a 7. That's a 5, so that's not a 5. Don't know how much that helps. 5 in this row now. Could be in one of those two, I think. 2 is in one. Oh, and now 2 is in one of those two, and it can't be there. So that's the 2. So 2 in this column can't be in any of those. 2 is it. Right, where's 2 in this column? There's a 2 in that region. There's already a 2 in that region. There's a 2 in that region, and there's 2s in these columns. So that's a 2. 2 in this row. Yeah, not sure about that one. 2 in this column. 1 and 3. Well, where's 3 now? 3 has to be in one of those two because there's no 3 in any of those. 3 is in one of those two. What is this? 1, 3. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 8, 9. So this is 8 or 9 because it can't be 1 or 3. And that digit in this region? Nope. 1, 2, 3. This is 4, 6, 8, 9 only. 5 in this column is in one of those two. If that was a 5, that would be a 5. And then, yeah, if this can't be a 5. 5 can't be here. 5 can't be in any of those. 5 can't be in any of those. 5 is in one of those two. But if this was a 5, we know 5 is in one of those two. So that's not the 5. That's the 5. This isn't a 5. That's just confirming 5 is in one of those two. So 5 in this column now. It's not here because we've got a 4, 5, 6 triple. It's not in any of those. There's a 5 in that region. There's a 5 in that region. That's the 5. There's no 5 in those. That's the 4, 6 pair. That's the 5. Okay. Can I keep going with 5s? There is another 4, 6. Seven in here? No, it's one of those two. 7 in this region is in one of those two. Is it the 3 in here? I thought it did more. 8 is not in any of those, or there. So, okay, this is weird. 8 is in one of those 3. Oh, no, that's not a thing at all. That is complete nonsense, and I shouldn't have said it. 2 in this region? It's in one of those two? There's no 4, 6 there. So these are all 1, 3, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 1, 3, 8, 9. Wow, okay. Maybe I've missed something important. 8 in this. Yeah, no. This is way clearer than I thought. 8 can't be here. 8 can't be in any of those because in this region, 8 is in one of those two and 8's not in any of those. That's the 8. This is not the 8. Now, 8 in this row is not in any of those. It's in one of those 3. So 8 in this row now can't be here, can't be in any of those, can't be in any of those because 8 has to be in one of those 3 for the region and can't be there. That's the 8. That's the 1. Okay. So 1 is not in any of those. What about 8 in this row? Don't think so. 4 6s everywhere. I could colour them. Maybe that's the trick. This is yellow because these are the same digit. So this is green. This is yellow. This is green. This is yellow. These are green and yellow, but I don't know which is which. I need to put yellow, I need to put green in this box in one of those. There's no 4, 6 in here. 4 is in one of those two. If this was a 4, then green would be 4. And green would have to be here and here and here. And here. That seems to work. Green and yellow have to go in this box as well. Yellow can't be in any of those. Yellow is in one of those two. Which means yellow is in one of those two. That's kind of a thing. One is in one of those two. I've really lost it. I remember testing this one really quick. 2, 5, 3, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6. There's a 1 in one of those two. I've got the 2, 3. I've got the 7, 8, 9. There's a 3 in one of those. I've got the 2, 9. I've got the 4, 5, 6. I've got the 2, 7. I've got the 7, 8. So 3, 9, 1, 8. Yeah, I've got this central grid done. Wait a minute. Yeah, those are the same digit. That's not it. This column, I need to put a 4, 6, 8, 9. So these are 4, 6, 8, 9. Two and 5 in that row? No. Wow, I had this puzzle. I really did. 2's not in any of those. So 2 is in one of those two. So 2 is not in any of those or there. 2 is in one of those two. So where's 2 in this row? It's not there. It's not in any of those. It's not in any of theirs. It's not there or there. That's a 2. This is not a 2. That's not a 2. That's a 2. So that's not a 2. That's a 2. And that's all of the 2's done. I think. Yes. There's green in here. Three in this region. So what are these? 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 5, 6. So 5 is in one of those two. This is 1 or 5. This is 1, 3, 5, and it's 1, 3. Where's 5? Oh, no. Hang on. No. I got this wrong. I got this very wrong. What is the triple in this row? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 3, 9. These are 1, 3, 9, and there's a 3, 9 looking up, making that the 1, which makes that the 3, which makes that the 9. The 3 makes that the 1. So these are 4, 5, 6. Sorry about the coughing. So the 1 and 3's are all lining up now. So these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 3, 8, 9. And 3 is in one of those two. Have I got these two outside puzzles backwards? I don't think so. This is probably going to get bumped to later in the pack. So 1 is not in any of those. 1 is in one of those. So what can these be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. Oh, there's no 1 here. This is a 1 because of the 1, 7 clue. So 1 isn't in any of those or there. That's the 1 because I got the 3. That couldn't be a 3 anymore. So 1 isn't in any of those or there. 1 isn't in any of those or there. What are these? 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is 4, 5, 6. There's a 3 in one of those two. But the 3 has to be down here. That's not the 3. That's the 3. This is only a 5 or a 6 because the 4 is down here. And the 4, 6 makes this the 5, which makes this the 6, which makes this the 4, and this the 6, which takes 6 out of those. Those are a 4, 5, and the 5 makes that the 4 and that the 5. Missed that for way too long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 go into those. Now, I'm not sure what to do about those, but 1, 2, 3, this is now a 4. And this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's a 9. So these are 4, 5, and 6. And this one can't be a 5, so that's the 5 because of that 5, and this is green. I'm not sure I need to do this colouring, but I'm going to continue. I'm actually going to get rid of this colouring though. So this is 6, 8, or 9, and it can't be 6 because of this. So this is the 6, and this becomes 8, 9 because this is a 4, 6 pair. So this is an 8 or a 9. So what am I need to put a 1 somewhere in here. Actually, let's look at this column. I've got 1, 2, I need 3. I've got 4, I need 5, 6, I've got 7, 8, 9. So these are 3, 5, 6. I can't put 6 down here, and I can't put 5 because of the region. This is 3, so this is 5, 6, and the 5 is looking across, making that the 6 and that the 5. So this column, 1, well, I need to put, this is now 3, 4, because I can't put 3 or 4 in here. This is a 3, 4. So this is 1. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, and 8. And the 1 makes that the 8 and that the 1. And these are 1, 7, 9, and that can't be a 1. So that's the 1. This is a 7, 9. The 3 is looking up saying that's not the 3. That's the 3. This is 7, 8, 9. Yeah, these are all 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all 7, 8, 9. And in this row, 1, 2, 3, they're 4. So there's a 4 in one of those two, and they're 4, 7, 9. That's not a 7. In this row, it's 3, 4, 6. That's not a 3, so that's a 4, 6, and that must be green. So that can't be, oh, and it can't be 4 because 4 has to be one of those two. So green, because it's 3, 4, 6, and it can't be 3. So it had to be 4, 6, but it can't be 4 because in the 4, 7, and 9, it's there. So if I select green, I can make them all 6. And if I select yellow, I can make them all 4, and then I can get rid of the colouring. And that will probably unlock the puzzle, maybe. So this is 3 or 4. And it's not 4 because 4 has to be in here. So this is 3, this is 4, this is 3. 4 is looking down saying that's not 4, that's 4. So we've got 7, 8, 9. So there's no 1 here. This is 7, 8, 9. And the 7 is looking down saying that's not the 7. That's an 8, 9, making that the 7, that the 9, that the 7, that the 9. Taking 9 out of those. The 7 looks down, making that the 8 and that the 7. The 9 looks up, making that the 8 and that the 9. The 8 looks up, making that the 9, that the 8, looking down, making that the 9, and that the 8. And this was slightly over 20 minutes, which is about solve counter 2 in 20 hours. Someone must have tested this recently, because we test these puzzles under a different name. Maggie and I have got a name that we use for all of our testing puzzles, and then we set them afterwards and send them off to testers. So someone must have tested this one recently. So yeah, that is the way this works with a slightly more tricky. This is probably going to get moved further down. I'll probably reorder them by solve times or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, so the intro to the video may say this is the first variant you'll see, and it may not be. That's fine. But hopefully you enjoy the puzzles that we bring. And yeah, there's a couple of outsides and then some of the constraints you're used to. I really enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun with it. Hopefully you did too. And as always, good luck with your solving.